Hey, I'm Jay Diamond, Love and Intimacy Coach, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about my Ignored to Adored Soulmate method. This is what I use with my clients, with my one-to-one clients, and there are elements of this in my programs that help women really shift, attract high-quality men, create relationships that last for legacy love, and enjoy the process, along the way, really halving the time of you getting to soulmate. Now, there are there are there are well, sometimes there are a lot of things that can hold a woman back from creating the relationship that she wants, but there are four big things that you should really know. The first one that I see over and over and over again that they don't understand is male commitment psychology. So the way that they approach dating, the way that they approach creating relationship, the way that they're approaching someone that they really like, that maybe they have a great vibe with, is often going against the grain of magnetically attracting that man to her. I see this over and over again. They don't really understand the male brain. They don't actually give any space that men and women can even be conditioned differently or have different chemical experiences inside of their body. And because they don't understand that, they treat them as they want to be treated. And that causes a problem because it's not how the guy wants to be treated, if that makes sense. And when they get this, things click really quickly, massive shifts happen, and instead of not having a guy that adores them, they have a new problem, which is there are too many, now they need to pick one. The second thing is they don't realise that they have subconscious blocks that are steering them in the wrong direction. So what you believe, and we'll talk about more of this in a minute, steers your behaviour, and the majority of women that I come to don't even realise what's holding them back underneath the surface. They can't find the right guys to commit to them, so they're attracting unavailable men, and they're also attracted to unavailable men, and that's the bigger piece. And sometimes they've also, so number four is they've also lost faith in themselves. There's something around their own self-image that's a little bit out of whack, and sometimes because they show up as so confident in every other area of their life. I particularly attract successful, vibrant, purpose-driven women, right? And so what happens is, because they're got so much success in other areas of their life and they have so much confidence in other areas of their life, it's hard for them to see what's kind of going on with regards to their own self-image in relationships, the messages that they've received that is perhaps out of alignment with where they want to be. Someone said you can never outdo how you feel about yourself. And it's true for relationship. You can never outdo in relationship what you believe about yourself, what you think you can have. And so you'll accept someone at the level of what you think you can have. And this creates a problem, and it's not always logical. So to explain some of this, I want to share with you this 4-pillar plan. It's called the Ignored to Adored Soulmate method. And it's been proven to help women really, really shift their relationships. So I'll tell you a little bit about this and how it works. So the first pillar is past, okay? And in that phase, you'll overcome the sabotaging behaviours that get in the way of you attracting your soulmate, and then finally release those hidden blocks to love, so you can become radiant and ready to receive the love and attention from a partner that you deserve. Most women are highly unaware that there is something that has happened in their past, or something that they've watched happen in their family or in their community, that's programmed them with a certain set of beliefs. And from those beliefs, that is how all of us create our lives. When you have very deep, empowering beliefs, when you believe you can have something, you generally do, one way or another. It might not take a day or a week, it might take a month, it might take 3, but it usually happens if someone has full belief about it. And so there's 3 phases here, which is release, radiance, and receive. So in release, we use potent energy clearing techniques. So it does what it says on the tin. You're releasing, you're shaking off this old stuff that is just in the way of your unique, joyful, beautiful woman frequency, and you connecting a high quality partner. It quantum leaps you, doing this piece, the release piece, quantum leaps you into attracting many who are available and quality partners, okay? And so the radiance is when you, through doing that, you activate this inner joyful essence and you become magnetically, radiantly attractive. You are not in this mindset that's like, oh, nobody wants me, I've been single for years, my time is running out, what's wrong with me, I'm not as attractive as other women. You like really feel grounded and loving of who you are. And when that is switched on, you become so radiant and attractive. Now, through clearing the past, it opens the way for you to receive. Another piece that often women have complete lack of awareness on is that they're so busy going outwards of trying to create what they want in the world, they don't actually realize that they're not in alignment with receiving and being treated like a queen. Sometimes it feels unfamiliar. Sometimes they feel smothered. Sometimes they mistake anxiety in relationship and uncertainty for chemistry. Oh my God, I've got amazing chemistry with this guy. It's often the person that you're not sure about, who's hot and cold, who breadcrumbs you and then comes on really strong. And without understanding this, you end up in this cycle of short-term, unhappy relationships, highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. And then you get addicted to the chemical of that. But that's the whole of the story. So pillar 2 is power. And this is where you balance and enhance your feminine energy. Because here's the thing, you can be both fierce and feminine. And when you achieve that, love flows easier. So in this pillar, this is where you give yourself permission to embrace and enhance your natural feminine energy and finding your own unique balance of fierce and femme. So you can stand in your power and then really allow love to flow easier. So within this pillar, we have femininity, flow, and fierce. In femininity, you reset and boost your relationship to your own feminine energy. Why is that? It's because many women are so out of whack with their own essential feminine nature because we live in a world that rewards masculine energy and achievement. Do, achieve, be the best, be first, stand out. And we can do all of that, but when we do it to the expense of our own feminine energy, what happens is often burnout and collapse. And if you are not able to harness your own feminine energy, you end up at loggerheads with men over and over again because you're also not all the way fully in the masculine side of your masculine energy, if that makes sense. And so you're kind of operating in this kind of place maybe of competition or fear of being controlled, and you end up at loggerheads with a partner through resistance and rebellion. And sometimes underneath that, that's why we work on the past, is the fear. A fear of being controlled, a fear of being told what to do. And some of it is because of a societal conditioning. Many of us have been mansplained or, kind of given the energetic pat on the head, there, dear, let the boys handle the hard work. And so you act in rebellion to that. But if that's where you're operating from inside of your relationship, instead of the love and trust that you want, it causes a problem. In flow, you'll be learning to enjoy the journey, and that is all about feminine energy, because so many women who come into my world, they're pushing, they're striving, they're stressing, they're obsessing, they're analysing the text. Why is this person not getting back to me? Why did it not work out with that? They're putting all their energy into somebody that they don't even really know very well. Perhaps they've only known for a few weeks. And when you just let go and relax, that alone makes you magnetically more attractive than so many others, because you're not like, nobody wants to be bullied into a relationship. We want to make our own choice, and that's why you need to be in the flow. So fierce, this is really getting the lowdown on where your fierce pushes men away. And this is the piece when I work with powerful women, a lot of them can struggle within the beginning. You know, they can really actually push back against and say, well, why say it's masculine energy? It's just feelings, you know, it's just feelings about how I feel one day or how I feel the next. But if you're always in battle mode, if you're always in kick-ass mode, and you don't have any time for your own inner goddess, your energy's out of whack. You're only operating from one place. However, when it comes to you being that purpose-driven woman and creating amazing things in the world and setting your soul on fire with what it is that you want to do, you know, it's not about squashing that. I'm not going to go into more because there's more information we need to go on to, but I just want to be really clear that it's not about squashing that. Usually, it's because you think you can't have it if you relax, if you're gentle, if you look after yourself, and there's always a price to pay. So it's knowing where to apply the fierce and where it's actually causing problems, and usually not just in your relationship with a partner either. So the third pillar is align, and that's where you'll get a deeper understanding of how men really think and what it takes to activate your dating for success mindset so that you can become a man magnet, or if you prefer women, an absolute goddess magnet. But I'm presuming if you're coming to this training or you work with me, I work with more feminine energy beings. That means you're craving a kind of more masculine energy person. So this is where the male psychology comes in, getting the secret sauce on the masculine energy, how that masculine energy shows up, how it wants to live, how it wants to express, and thinking about also, you know, the social conditioning of men, which we're all still subject to, and social conditioning of women, and you know how they really prioritize and commit. This is super important. Mindset. In this piece, you'll be able to master your mindset for dating to success. Again, you can't outdo your self-image. You're not going to. This is why women end up in relationships for years with men or women that abuse them, because that you leave when someone crosses your internal boundary, meaning the point at which you won't punish yourself. Now there's more on that, but basically we all have our own inner limits, and this is like really creating your standards and boundaries and creating a really healthy mindset for yourself so that you're turning up in a positive way when it comes to relationships. Some of the you know, the women that I come across, they're just like, even they're just on a dating app and they're saying, you can't treat me like this, or you can't do this because this is what my ex-boyfriend did, and you better not do this and you better not do that. You're leading with all of this repellent energy, and you know, it's killing your love life, darling. It's got to stop. Then there's Magnetize. So this is where you triple your confidence, you know, where you create new inner belief system, where you align with your inner queen. Through doing all this work, you magnetize high vibrational people when you embody that within yourself, not by just saying nice words, not by, you know, wearing a nice dress and looking the best. So many women focus on the outside. If I look the best, I'll be chosen and I'll get the hottest guy. It doesn't mean he's going to treat you like a queen. You have to embody this strength within and be able to share your softness as well. And like that's the killer remedy, is like the mix of those two things. Pillar 4 is Soulmate. And in this is strategy, sexuality, and soulmate. And so this is the 4th pillar. So this is where there's more about the dating strategy for commitment. Feeling empowered to navigate sex and boundaries. So you can prepare for these things ahead of time. So you can navigate the early stages of healthy, true love with your ultimate, you know, divine life partner. Strategy in some ways is essential for modern dating. We live in a world now where we have access to more things, people, information than we ever have, and in some ways it's incredible, and in some ways it's not working. There is so much available to you in life. You have to be really poignant and strategic about what you will and not accept into your world. And what happens is, the problem is, a lot of women focus on strategy. They just look at the strategy. Send this text, and they'll text you back. Do this thing, date in this way, only accept a date, after Wednesday for Saturday, and all this kind of, like, these rules. Strategy will not work if your energy is out of whack, if your mindset is out of whack, if you haven't cleared your past, if you haven't looked at your old fears, if you haven't got yourself into your own inner strength and queendom, the strategy won't work. However, when your energy is in alignment, strategy works very quickly. Sexuality. This is a really important piece. It's really important to know, to discuss, to decide how you're going to handle sex especially during the dating period, especially if you're dating a few people at a time, to make sure that you feel empowered, confident, and unafraid. Some women retract from putting themselves out there because either the expectations that they've come up against. Again, there's all kinds of things out there, and people have all different desires, and that's okay. What's important for you is your own boundaries. What do you desire? How do you want to do it? Where are you coming from something because you're trying to perform or please? Where are you coming from something because you think something's going to be taken away from you? So that's really important, because it's part of a beautiful relationship, isn't it? And then we have Soulmate, my favourite piece, which is unlocking the key to success and the early stages of that soulmate relationship. Really getting to that place where you truly truly know, feel, and can go 2 feet in. When you're really, really available to be loved, and you can allow that to happen, and it feels good for you. So, I cover these things in my programs and in my one-to-one work in a much deeper way. If that feels good for you, you can reach out to me. I have a program called Radiant Love, which is starting Sunday the 14th of December, which is Valentine's Day. The best gift you could give to yourself. And we go much more in depth into these things within the program. It's 10 weeks, so 2.5 months of a group. Amazing shifts happen. So I've had clients who've come into my programs at 39, heartbroken, worried they're never going to have children, thinking that they've messed it up over and over and over again. They don't know what to do, only to message me 6 months afterwards to say, I'm pregnant. My ex came back to claim me. She actually, I had her go out dating, and she had some really good advice from me and coaching. And then what happened was she had a situation where she had this new guy who was promising her the world, and then her ex stepped up. And I know sometimes people say you should never go back to an ex, but they were a great match. But there were some things that were unaligned and things that weren't working. They loved each other very much. However, their relationship wasn't working for certain reasons. And so what happened was, through learning my process and learning the information, she completely changed her mindset and energy in the way she was showing up. She was attracting these really high quality guys who wanted what she wanted, and eventually she chose to get back with this guy because he was the love of her life. But when she went back, she had different standards, different boundaries, and she got in agreement that it was on terms that were going to work for her. And he was over the moon that she would accept him. And then they had a baby and they moved to the country. So I love those updates. And then I had another client who she'd just been stuck in a cycle with like predatory guys who were just always trying to take advantage of. And this woman is a natural healer. She has this beautiful vibration. She's beautiful physically. She's also beautiful spirit. And so people would try and really push that with her. And so we did a lot of work around these things, around boundaries, around that inner strength, around like commitment psychology, around, the mindset and the strategy. And she found this beautiful man who was just a perfect match for her, probably within about 6 months of us finishing work together. She'd found this guy, and they're making plans, and they're having children together. And then I've had other clients who are in their 50s who've never been happy in love or successful in love, and because they've learned to not make the same mistakes over and over again, they've had guys declaring their undying love and taking them away for weekends and saying, you make me feel so amazing. And this is the thing, when you can allow yourself to be uniquely you without any of the shadow stuff, without the fear on top, without the societal conditioning, without the negative mindset, you'll hear this a lot. You make me feel so good. And that's when somebody wants to be with you forever. I mean, isn't the same for all of us? So Radiant Love is a program that I created to help women activate their inner joy and return to their own inner queendom. This is not you wearing the mask of feminine so that you can attract a man, and that you have to keep wearing a particular mask so that you can keep a particular man. This is about your unique soulmate elixir, your medicine that calls in your king, so that you can create legacy love and feel the divinity within that. There is a divinity inside of the frequency and energy of love. And so when you allow yourself to release the layers and come back to that place, love happens at least twice as quick and sometimes sooner. I've had women who are 2 weeks into my programs, found the love of their life. And all kinds of plans have been made before we've even ended the program. So I'm really passionate. I really feel that Radiant Love is like, it creates a healthy foundation for the rest of your life in love. And so because we release those old conditioned beliefs, it's no wonder that women inside that program, more than one, just on the last round, like I think there was 2 or even 3 that sold houses and flats that had been stagnant on the market for 6 months or more, like nothing was happening. All of a sudden, what happened? The energy shifted, the money came in because they were open to receive. They were open to receive. And money is a masculine frequency, actually. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. This is already too long. See. So if you'd love to experience that and really ignite that inner queen, put me a message. Just type Radiant Love. I can give you a little bit more information, and then we can go from there, and we'll be moving across these 4 pillars inside of the program. It doesn't work like we do pillar 1, we do pillar 2, we do pillar 3, and then pillar 4, because it's constantly crossing over. There's elements that are constantly crossing over. When you release the past, your mindset changes. When you shift your mindset, you become more magnetic. It's this constant overlap that we deepen, and then we just ignite it into joy and magnetize your king. So if that feels good for you, whether you're single or in a relationship, because I've had women who are married do this program and ignite their current marriage, women who are also engaged to be married and want to create a really healthy foundation, just type Radiant Love and I